What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful day today. Perfect temperature. Perfect humidity. Slight breeze. I feel east to west at about 0.361 miles per hour. That's what I feel. So I got a box here. I wait for this. This is my surprise box. HQ book box. Is that book? Box. Let's see what they have in here. What surprises? Look at that. I love opening up these surprises. They have a little paper covering. Look at that. Okay. Ooh, look at that. So we begin by a hydration drink mix. This is for high intensity exercise, no artificial flavors, plant-based, tropical mango. I'm a big fan of mango. So it has 50 milligrams of calcium, magnesium 200 milligrams, sodium 400, potassium 150. So this is how you put back the electrolytes that you've lost during sweating. Big fan of this stuff. Max recovery. That's one. Then, we have a 2-in-1 scalp scrub. Clarifying shampoo. Never heard of this stuff, but sounds good to me. Oh yeah. Nice. That is nice. That smells so good. Refreshing. I'll try it out later on tonight. So that. And then we have next Men and Nails. They exist to modernize nail care. Let's see what's in here. Little packet. Nice little leather packet. Oh, nice. Wow, I like this. This is my style here. Look at this. Things to cut your nails with. Look at all that stuff. Isn't that cool? Got toenail clippers of different sizes, tweezers. We have a little scissors here for the cuticles. We have a brush. We have a nail file. And I don't know what these things are. These things look for the cuticles or something. But yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. I've been waiting for something like this. I've been looking for something like this. I was in Germany and I went into one of those stores and they had nail clippers and I bought some there. But these look even better. What else we have here? What is this? Southern Scholar. A gentleman's collection. Let's see what's inside. I see. Pair of socks. Nice. Look at that. Very nice. Some kind of card explaining or explaining what this is, the process. Awesome. What else? Oh, here we go. Anthony. Cologne. Natural spray. I'm gonna give it a little whiff here. Do an investigation, see how that is. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Nice. Pretty heavy. Get that. So, shake it up. You don't want the ingredients to separate. How do women do it here? Wow, that's good. Very nice. Not bad. We'll put it in here. Very, very refreshing. Nice. What else? I think that's it. That is it. That is it. I'm a big fan of this stuff. And then you get $200 off America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Scan and claim this special offer. Wow. Nice meals here. 35 gourmet meals every week with options for all dietary preferences. Stress-free. You just heat these up in the oven, and I may try it. $200 off. Get a lot of food for that, right? Oh man, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Everything in here I like. I like this thing here, scalp cleaner. Made in Japan. Made in Japan. Remember years ago everything was made in Japan? Now most things are made in China. It's just my opinion, but Japan had better quality. Better quality. So GQ box. Yeah, this is cool. So evening time right now. I am making tacos tonight. Tacos. I bought a bunch of meat. Bought the taco shell things, or a bunch of those. And what else? I got lettuce. I got hot peppers. I got onions. I got cilantro. Sour cream. A few other things I'm not remembering, but yeah, that might be it. This is awesome though. Like it's a little surprise every so often. So yeah, very nice nice evening. Kick back here, you know, nighttime, maybe sit out and have a cup of tea. I'm in the mood for an episode of Kojak with Telly Savalas. Like that show. I used to watch that. Telly Savalas' Kojak. Who loves you, baby? Yeah, that was a good show. They don't make shows like that. I think that was filmed in LA, but it had exterior scenes in New York. So I guess they would every so often get stock footage of New York. It might have been filmed in New York, I don't know. I do know, though, that Telly Savalas lived for many, 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 many years at the Sheraton Hotel up Universal Studios. I pass by it all the time, you know. Many years ago, many years ago, I was down the Cape. And when I say down the Cape, I'm talking about Cape Cod. Cape Cod, not Cape Fear, not Cape Hatteras, but Cape Cod. And there was a little beach there, and I was outside with my mother. You know, I was little. I was playing outside on the sand, going in the water. And there was a lady there who owned the main house. There was a, you know, good sized house. And she was talking to us, and after a while she said to me, "Are you a Kojak fan?" And I said, "I am. I watched the show." And she goes, "I'm going to introduce you to somebody. You want to come with me up my house?" And I said, "Sure." So we went up her house, and there was this little room, you know, maybe like 12 feet by 10 feet. And there was a little bed in there, and there was an old man. Looked like he was like 90. And I looked around, and that room was filled with Telly Savalas Kojak memorabilia. Filled. He had shelves with stuff. He had things about Telly Savalas from the old days, from the new days, from the show. Everything was in there. And he said to me, you know, he goes, "I'm a good friend of Telly Savalas. Me and him are really good friends." And I said, That's good. You're good friends." And we talked for a few minutes. He was old. He's not around now, because I was that big back then, and now I'm bigger. So I would say that he's dust. Trying to get home, visit his mother. So anyway, many years went by after that, and the internet was created, and I'm sitting at my home on the internet typing away, and I found Telly Savalas' son, and I emailed him, and I said to him, "Hi, how you doing?" And I mentioned that old man down the Cape, and he responded to me. He said, "And you knew who that guy was?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "I do know who that was. My father would mention him a lot." So I had a little connection there. That was many years ago. That was like late 90s that I had that connection. Now probably this Telly Savalas' son guy is old man with a cane, right? But yeah, I enjoyed watching Telly. Aristoteli, you know, right? And yeah, I love that show. But you know what show also I was a huge fan of? The Rockford Files. Love that theme song. Love that theme song. It started off with the answering machine. The phone would dial, and then it would leave the, you know, the answering machine would pick up. And then I guess that was for work. He was a private eye. James Rockford. Is that his first name? James Gardner. James Bum Gardner. What kind of name is that? Bum Gardner. I have a friend that has that last name, Bum Gardner. It's a little bit funny. You know, I don't mind it, but it's a little bit funny. So I used to watch that show, The Rockford Files. Cool show. Oh, is there such a thing now as private agents, private eyes? You go hire them, they find things out. Private eye. Yeah, that was one of my standards. I used to watch that all the time. And then I used to watch Cannon. Fat guy. Used to watch that. Another favorite show, The Streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production. And then, you know, I love that show. Karl Malden. I thought Karl Malden, when they called him the captain there, I thought he was the captain of all the police departments on television. Lieutenant, right? Lieutenant, yeah, sorry. Lieutenant Stone, is that his name? Yeah. And you had little Mike Douglas running around with him. There was an episode with Desi Arnaz Jr. on that, and I watched some weird episode. But I like that show, The Streets of San Francisco. That's one of the reasons I went and visited San Francisco a few years ago. Well, a few years ago, I would say 30 years ago. And I went up there. I went for that, and I went for the Alcatraz. You know, the movie Escape from Alcatraz. I said, I got to see the city. And I loved San Francisco. I know now it's a little bit rough up there, but they'll clean it up. But when I went, it was clean, beautiful. There's something about San Francisco, I can't describe it, but something about it that, you know, looks cool. By the ocean, it's up on hills, and it's just a beautiful city, San Francisco. Now they've kind of beat it up a little bit, but it'll be back. It's a cycle. You build it up, only to knock it down, only to build it up. A lot of cars going by. Best theme song ever, Hawaii Five-0. Steve McGarrett, best cop on television. Yes, Columbo was also a good cop, but in a different style. I'm a big fan of Columbo, big fan. Just one more thing, but Hawaii Five-0, man, I love that show. Loved Hawaii Five-0. Jack Lord. You know, Jack Lord. Sometimes I pass by the old house or the old apartment complex that he used to live in the 60s when he lived in LA. But yeah, there was a time when Hawaii Five-0 would come on Sunday night, midnight, or 1 o'clock, whatever it was, and there would be two shows back to back. And I used to watch both, and then I'd go to bed because huge fan. And I'm not a huge fan of the later years. It wasn't as good, LAPD. That would have been Jack Lord in a little helicopter. But from 68 to 74, yeah, those shows were amazing. Amazing shows. Pray, Love, Remember. Pray, Love, Remember. And Over 50 Steel. I mean, I actually have the whole collection on DVD, and I enjoy watching them. I enjoy watching those shows. I even own a lot of the scripts, and I also have, it's inside, I wish I had it right now to show, but I have a cashed check written by Jack Lord for his dry cleaning bill. It was a dry clean, it was not too far from here, and he went and paid $2 and something, had his clothes dry cleaned, and I think it was like 1962, something like that. So back then, you know, $2-3 was good money. Good money. You could probably fill up a grocery bag with $3. Now you spend $100 and you get 2 little bags. You come home with your little bag, spend $100. Sometimes 1 bag. You know, I'll buy stuff and I go, I didn't get that much. And then she's ringing and ringing and ringing and the price is going up, and I'm looking and looking. I go, wow, $105. Inflation. Yeah. I do miss, these days are good, but I do miss the old days when I was a kid. All the energy running around and the friends and playing games and all that stuff. It was a fun time to grow up. I try to explain to my kids how it was back then, the freedom that we had. Freedom. I mean, after the age of 5, they basically said, go out and play. Go. Get out of the house. They didn't have to tell me to get out of the house. I was already out. But, back then, when I hit second kindergarten, I was pretty much on my own. I was playing all over the neighborhood. My mother was not running around trying to find me. That did not happen ever, not one time. But after, 5 years old and on, I was like just roaming around the neighborhood. You find a kid, I'd hang around with him all day. Nobody knew where I was. Nobody knew where anybody was. They just, you kind of left home like you were going to work, like you were an adult. All right, I'm leaving now. It's 9 o'clock. And then you'd come back when the lights would come on. Like around 6 o'clock, you'd start coming home. But yeah, it was a lot of fun playing back then. It was like my little world of magic. And then we all grew up, and we said to ourselves, how did we get here so soon? How did we get here so fast? I remember being not kindergarten, I remember that, but I remember first grade, we had this teacher. She had blue, what do they call it, eyeshadow on the top, like really vivid blue. It was like a lightning flash of blue on her eyelids. And very friendly teacher. She would give kisses to the students, She would come up to you, you'd read something, you'd get it right, she'd give you a little kiss. I go, wow, that's cool. And she was young. It wasn't like she was a 85-year-old woman giving you a kiss. She was late 20s, young lady, and always give you a little kiss. So I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what happened. You always want to connect to a couple of these people and tell them, remember those days. Maybe they'd give you a different perspective. But I do remember we were in this class, and then there was a hallway here. We had a door that went out that way. We had a door that went out this way. You'd go out the hallway, and then right across the hall was another teacher. She had like a perm all fluffed out, and then she would come in, and she had that problem with her eyes that would create dangling ornaments in the front, her eyelashes. I don't know what that, I have no idea what it's called, but you'd have these things dangling in the front, and no matter how much you would shove them off, they'd come back. They would come back. And I would look at her, and I was thinking, you know what, if my father was here, he would tell her, go to the bathroom and throw a couple of cold fistfuls of water on your face, get rid of that stuff. But I've learned now that there's a medical condition where those things form so rapidly that as fast as you knock them out, they form. But they were dangling. She would talk, and they would right off her eyelids or eyelashes. And I was always wondering if my teacher ever thought about saying something to her, like, what is that stuff? What is that stuff hanging? It looked like dandruff. So we had that. And I do remember, though, they that teacher would split us up into separate reading groups. And then she would set up everybody around the class, and then she would come to us. Well, one particular time, and we had a book, a really cool book. At the end of it was a countdown, like a NASA rocket liftoff story. We never got to it, but me and my friends would always go there and look at it and go, we can't wait to get to this, but we never got that far. So one day, one of the kids in the group, they released some gas, and just before the teacher sat down, the gas spread in that group that we were in, and it was very heavy duty. You know, it's like who cut the cheese gas. And my teacher sat down next to me. Now she knew it wasn't me because it was kind of more potent on that side. So she kind of, you know, sat down, and then she got a whiff of it. And she looks around. She's like, "Anybody here needs to go to the bathroom? Anybody?" Nobody raised their hand because it would be obvious that whoever raised their hand, that's who did it. I know it wasn't me, but I was suspecting the dude that was sitting next to my teacher. I thought it was him. He kind of looked like a guy who would have a fart that smelled like that, you know. And I'll tell you one thing about him that I remember. It's kind of like a weird thing, but so one day he goes, "You guys want to see something?" This is before the teacher arrived, and we're like, "Yeah, show us something." He pulls up the pant leg, and on his on his calf, he has a patch about 2 inches by 2 inches of thick hair. Thick hair. It looked like a sideburn from the 70s that he removed from here and put on his calf. I don't know why it was that thick there, but it was just a patch about that thick, and it was bushy. It looked like what a forest looks like when you look at it from space. So I go, "What? Why is it like that?" He goes, "I don't know. I don't know." And then I, you know, moved on in life, and many years had gone by. So now it's the 90s, late 90s, and I'm at a Home Depot. I'm at the Home Depot, and I look over, and there's that kid. Now he's a man, you know, he's grown up. But he's sitting there, you know, working at Home Depot, and I go, "That's him." I wanted to ask him, did that patch of hair eventually blend in with the other hair, or is it still really thick there? But I'm not that nosy. That's the thing. I don't need to know that. But just out of, you know, nostalgia. So yeah. Nobody ever did that again in that group. Nobody. But it was a fun class. I mean, to me back then the class looked big. I bet you if I go now and visit that building, I'll look in there and I'll go, "Wow, that's it? Very tiny." Another thing we would do in first grade, there was a radiator, you know, one of those old-fashioned with the water inside heating up the room. It would heat up the water, and then the air would warm up throughout the room. So we discovered an awesome thing. We used to have these fat crayons in first grade, and we'd break them in half, take the paper off, and then we'd put them on top of the radiator, and they would melt, and you'd smell that crayon smell. And the teacher was a little bit, you know, dense, never noticed. So the crayon would melt and drip, 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 drip on the floor, and then we'd switch colors out, and it would build up, and we'd make little creations out of it. Anyway, looks like I'm running out of time on the battery here, so I'm going to cut it short here and say that's it for now. Ciao.